365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
How's everybody doing? My name is Christopher Brown, and today Real Talk is back. I'm here with two great guys. I got Freddie to the left of me. I got Landon right under me. Introduce yourselves, man. Tell everybody what's going on. I want you to tell them how excited you are for today. Because today, I don't know about y'all, but I feel the heat energy in me. I feel the hot takes coming. I feel the arguments coming. I feel the real talk being put down today. So y'all excited about today?
What's up, gentlemen? I'm glad to be back on the show. You know, I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to what we're going to be talking about. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be enjoying this, but it's always good to be back on the Real Talk show.
Landon, what's up with you? How you feeling?
Pretty good. I'm ready to bash Freddie's Packers. See if he's a Buccaneers fan now, Chiefs fan. He's got to be something else, right, Chris? We'll see.
I mean, went from the NFC East to the NFC North. He's probably about to go to the AFC West and then the NFC. Who knows how he's going to go? But before we talk about football, man, it's time to talk about Kobe Bryant. Freddie Henderson, I'm just going to give it to you, man. It's sad even bringing it up, man. It's honestly sad, man. But look, almost a year ago, man, I was at school. I started off so before I even give it to you, Freddie. I was at school, man, and what Kobe meant for me, that Mamba mentality, it wasn't only just for basketball players, but football players felt it. Track athletes felt it. And then you can relate it to real life if you had a job. Mamba mentality was just being better than the people you're competing with. You know, being better than your opponent, going out and giving 150%. So it was a day right after the meet, and I'm getting another lift, and I'm in the ice bath, and I check my phone, and it says the incident happened. I don't even want to bring it up, but it said it happened. I said it can't be real. I keep checking, and it's saying this happened. I called my uncle because Kobe Bryant was his favorite athlete, not just basketball player, but favorite athlete. I mean, my uncle had braids because of Kobe. My uncle was a Lakers fan because of Kobe. So I called him and tell him it was just devastating, man. I mean, we lost a guy who his transition from basketball to the next step in life was just amazing. I mean, he was an author, and then now reports coming out that he was about to start his own sneaker company. He was coaching. He had the Mama Academy. I mean, Kobe Bryant was an amazing guy. And I'll be honest, I always got love for Kobe because I'm a Philly guy. He's from Philly. But I was more of a LeBron guy. But with Kobe, he was somebody, when he was on TV, you had to watch. I remember watching him win the championships. I'm rooting for the Lakers because of Kobe. I remember watching him hit a game winner against D-Wade, one leg from the three-point line. I mean, to talk about Kobe, I mean, the basketball stuff is fine. He was a legend right there. But it's everything for me, what he meant outside the game, on how he impacted my life. What he did on the court, one of the greatest, top 5 of all time. But how he affected me outside of basketball was why that hit me so hard, man. And, you know, rest in peace, Kobe forever. Rest in peace, everybody that was affected by that tragic incident, man. And we always love Kobe. And his Mamba mentality forever. I carry that me every day in sports, you know, in sports networking. Everything I do, I have that Mamba mentality where I got to be better. I got to be the best version of myself. I cannot let nobody beat me. I'm the only person that can beat myself, man. Mamba mentality is going to stick with me forever, man. It's sad that that incident happened just a year ago, man. But Freddie, I'm gonna kick it off to you, man. You can talk about, you know, what Kobe meant to you and everything, man. It's just sad to bring up sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely sad, especially when you're starting off a show like this. But man, well, the way I found out, I was out to eat with some friends, and a buddy I work with, he texted me, said, "Hey, you hear what happened to Kobe?" I said, "Yeah, man, I already know. LeBron passed on all-time scoring. That's I already know." He said, "No, he's dead." I said, "Bro, like stop playing games. You don't play with stuff like that." And then he said, "Bro, look at your phone." So I typed it up in Google, and I said, "Man, people always play games. I don't know. I'm tired of that mess." Then the ESPN came right back and confirmed it, and I tell you that I could not finish my meal. I paid for my food and I left. Like my whole mindset didn't change right there, because I know I talk about LeBron all the time, but let's be real. Kobe is my dude. That's my favorite player. He's the reason that I started watching basketball. And this dude, Chris, he mentioned on the court. To me, it's more than on the court. It's off the court.
It's off the court, yeah.
Because, this man, he came with he was known for having this attitude. He didn't really talk to people. He didn't really, associate. He didn't show a soft side. But this dude was much more than a ball player. This dude, was a great father. What him and Gigi had going on was special. What he was doing for the WNBA was special. What he was doing for the academy, what he was going to take. He was going to be just as good as he was on the court, off the court. And, it's just sad that we was not able to see the final touches of what he just started. Because I believe that he was going to go even further what he just started. This dude, impacted the game like nobody else would have. You have cats out there, that's striving to be great just because of Kobe. They have, you see this transition where people were wearing Jordans to a lot of people come wearing Kobe's now. Hey, it's sad, like Chris said, and prayers from the All Sports All Plays Network to his family, to the other families, and to everybody that's connected to this tragedy. And even though it's a year ago, it's still, man,
still sad.
Man, just imagine, his wife, his kids going through that, and every time every time, it's not like, it's going to just leave their mind. It's always going to be there. That's the hard part about it. Yeah.
Landa, what? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Can't hear you, buddy. You muted. Still can't hear you. He's having some technical difficulties, but it's just hard to talk about. Honestly, it's really hard to talk about. And he inspired us all. And after that tragic incident, I really stuck by Mamba mentality. And my freshman year, indoor track, I kept trying to outwork. I was lifting weights probably more than I should, and then weight room a ton. And it led to me, making championships and placing the championships in indoor track, man. And that's just a Mamba mentality. He inspired a lot of people, and it's just,
I'm not even in sports, but I sell cars, and every day, man, like if you go to my YouTube, my playlist, I have a motivational video that is Kobe, just things he say, like you said, affects you even away from sports. In real life, I go with the mindset, hey, I'm going to be the best salesman out there. I'm going to be the best person out there. I'm going to push myself even further just because of the truth that dude just speaks, man, and just what he believed in. There's not too many. There's not going to be too many more Kobe's out there, Yeah, just another day for the saying, you need to give people their roses while they're here,
Yes.
That's what it shows us.
Landa, you here?
Yeah, my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Floor is yours,
right.
Landa.
So, I'm the young guy on the network, but I watched him growing up, and I can't lie. I was a LeBron fan growing up too, but
Yeah, they might still be having some technical difficulties, but
they
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, but Freddie, we can talk about what Kobe meant to us all day, but I don't want to just dwell on this because it's going, and it's just real sad. But
it's time to bring the real talk, I believe.
Yeah, it's time to talk about some things, man. The first thing I want to talk about is do Packers fans have a right to be mad at the in-game penalty? Here's my thing, because we don't know if you're a Packers or Giants fan, so we're going to just pretend you're a Packers fan for this. I'll say this. They shouldn't be – it was an obvious penalty. And King – let me say this, by the way. The cornerback, King, he got killed the entire game, gave up touchdowns, gave up big plays. King is a bum. He's a bum, ladies and gentlemen. He is a bum. Flat-out bum. Like, he needs to be cut. Kevin King needs to be cut. But at the end of the day – you can't be – it was an obvious penalty. What you can't be mad is the fact that they didn't call it even the entire game, because there was multiple penalties like that. I mean, the Buccaneers cornerback, the way he got his interception was off of pass interference. It was pass interference all game. The corners and wide receivers were playing physical. But you cannot put it in the referee's hands like that, because they're going to have to, throw that flag. Even though it was an obvious flag, it was the right flag. But you should have been calling it even, not the entire game, not waiting until the end for a big play to change it, man, and then robbing us of a potential Aaron Rodgers drive that could have, took him to the Super Bowl. Who knows? But, I mean, it was an obvious flag. But to me, if you weren't going to throw it the entire game, don't throw it now at the end of the game. How you feel about that, Freddie?
Chris, I understand what you're saying. After I seen it, I was pissed off. I was like, man, how could they do this? They called this game a certain way and then they just changed. But now, a little bit, 24 hours for me to just really sit back and think about it. No, they can't be mad about it. They don't need to be mad about that call. They need to be mad what the coach did yesterday. On fourth and goal, you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback and you kick the field goal? Like, man, why would you put your hands of your defense to stop Tom Brady from getting a first down? Stopping Tom Brady. I mean, in that offense, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I have a lot more that I need to unload off of me, but I'm not going to get into my full thoughts and everything right now, because I know we're getting close to it. But no, they shouldn't get mad about the penalty. Was it a penalty? Yes. Was they calling the game? They was not calling a lot of fouls at all this game. There's probably been 2 or 3 flags the whole game, if that. So in my opinion, no, because I don't think that lost the game.
Yeah, that definitely didn't lose the game. But let's talk about somebody that won the game, a quarterback that won the game, Tom Brady. How much credit does Tom Brady deserve for that victory, in your opinion?
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Won 6 championships, about to go to his 10th Super Bowl, okay? But let's face it, ladies and gentlemen. Did Tom Brady go in there and play great? No. He had the first half, he played good. The second half, 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. That's what really takes me off even more about it. 3 interceptions, okay? Yes, he made plays when he needed to make them. But he was not that Tom Brady that we know that he is, we've seen him do in the past. He did not come out there just bombing and just taking advantage. But, I mean, he played okay, but he didn't play great. To me, Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback yesterday.
I can't say that. I'm be honest with you. I can't say that.
Playing-wise, reason why I say it is because, I mean, I believe the subject coming up. I'm not going to touch into it, but I mean, 3 interceptions. I mean, and Aaron Rodgers only had 1 interception. I mean, that's what I'm going by. I'm not talking about win or loss. 3 interceptions, and I've never seen Tom Brady, in the playoffs, just in a while, just go back to back to back in interception. That's just something you just don't really see at all. And they did not take advantage of that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I say this. He deserves some credit because he in the first half he won them the game. I mean, the Packers had to come back from a lot. That end of the half touchdown, the big plays he was making in the first half, and then the fact that he was able to win the game in the fourth quarter. So he deserves some credit because, I mean, he had 3 touchdowns. He had 280 yards, only sacked 1 time. Yes, those 3 interceptions hurt, but he didn't play bad. I mean, yes, I came in and said it's okay to bet on Tom Brady. His performance, if he had anything other than a great defense with him, they would have lost. But did he play well enough for his team to win? Yes, he did. So I think Tom Brady, deserves some credit. Yes, he didn't have the best game, but he didn't have the worst game either. 3 interceptions is bad, but he made the crucial plays at the stretch and at the beginning of the game to give his team the lead. Next thing we're going to talk about. Why did the people sleep on the Bucs all year? I'll start off with this. I said the Bucks will be better because if you looked at them last year, they were 7-9, and 6 out of the 9 losses came by a touchdown or less. So I said if you add a quarterback with that much experience, things will go better. But I think throughout the year, the fact that they weren't able to beat real playoff teams, people were kind of sleeping on them. But I said, okay, they have the running backs. There's no way you can mess that up. You have all the weapons in the world. You have Tom Brady, and then you have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I don't know why people were saying this team's going to be a first-round exit. This team has all the tools to be where they're at right now. I don't understand why people were sleeping on the Bucks. There was other teams that you shouldn't have been sleeping on that didn't check the boxes. But, I mean, the Bucks team was legit. Now, somebody said, they won't make the Super Bowl. I wouldn't argue with you. But to say, they won't make the playoffs, they won't get out the first round, that's where you lost me because defensive line check, linebackers check, defensive coordinator check, offense coordinator check, everything on offense check. They check all the boxes. So I don't understand why people were sleeping on this team this much. They were 7-9 last year, could have went 13-3. This year you add a better quarterback with more experience, things are going to go better, and they did. So I don't understand why people slept on them. Did you sleep on them?
No, I mean, I think we all here at the network knew they was going to be a good team. But before I get into that, man, we did give let's give props to Tom Brady. Shoot, man, this year, as everybody knows, not a normal year, okay? He went to a new team, to a COVID year at that, where, I mean, they was not able to, practice and training camp and all that like they normally would do in a normal season. And for him to be the leader, because, I mean, at first they started off kind of rough, but him coming in there, bringing in, his system, his way, that winning mindset, bringing it to that team, get them. I mean, he had to, them guys had to learn how to just, getting the ball from Tom Brady. I mean, it's not Jameis Winston. It's a difference. This dude right here, there's a lot of questions, that a lot of people saying, Brady can't throw downfield like he used to no more.
He can't.
He's talking about this down dink and dunk. But I mean, when he threw the ball downfield when he needed to, and I mean, so hey, Tampa Bay, like you said, they had the defense, they had the offense, the weapons. I mean, yeah, they're where they're supposed to be at, honestly.
Yeah, I like they definitely are where they're supposed to be. And to me, like I rank, Big Ben, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees in the same class, and Phillip Rivers were great quarterbacks, but their talent isn't the same. But the difference between all those guys is even Tom Brady's older, but he's still able to make those throws. Drew Brees, he's playing hurt all year, which he shouldn't. He didn't have the arm strength to make some of them throws. Phillip Rivers, you see the arm strength not be able to make some throws. Tom Brady is accurate. He has times where he shows flashes of inaccuracy, but I feel like, he made the plays necessary at the end for them to win. Now, I got a question for you, Freddie. What is the future for Aaron Rodgers? Because, I mean, listen, he came out and said he doesn't know his future. He came out and showed obviously disgust when they asked him who wanted to go for it on who wanted to kick the field goal. Why don't you go for it? He said the decision wasn't mine. What is the future for Aaron Rodgers? Because I'll tell you right now, y'all not gonna like my choice at all. Because I've been saying it all year.
He need to get the hell up out of there.
Now you agree with me.
He need to get the hell up out of there. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he playing for a franchise that wasted his career so far. I mean, he got one Super Bowl. As great as Aaron Rodgers is, he have one Super Bowl. And, the icing on the cake where everybody knows with this past draft, when they drafted a quarterback, don't you think they would have done good maybe with a trade or maybe something about drafting a slot receiver, Chris? Huh? I mean, bro, like, this dude should want out of Green Bay. This dude don't need, like, if he come back next year, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be like, what are you doing, Aaron Rodgers? They wasted your career. You need to get up out of there, okay? A lot of people say San Francisco's a good spot. Hey, if I'm the Chicago Bears, I'm definitely calling because I know Chris and most people on the network say, hey, the Bears are one quarterback away from being one of the best teams in the NFC because of that defense, because you have Robinson over there. I mean, hey, there's some. I don't really care. Well, as long as he don't go to no Cowboys, he goes to the Cowboys, then the support for him is over for me because I will never support a Cowboy player.
The best thing for you is for him to go to the Giants. So now you can say, "Oh, I was a Packers fan and I rooted at it now." But so now it's like both your bandwagon teams came together as one.
Could you imagine Rodgers and Barkley? in that young defense. That'll never happen.
But for me though, I've been saying since the beginning of the year, he needs to go. He needs to go. And you can see the obvious frustration. You know, they're not on same terms, the head coach and the quarterback. When you got a head coach and the quarterback not on the same terms, bad things happen. Honestly, 3 teams I feel like that should call them. One, the Broncos. I've been telling Nate the Great. Nate, I see you in the comments. We're going to get to the comments in a second. Maybe Rodgers to the Pats. That would be nice, but they don't have their weapons right now. They got to address that in free agency. But I would love to see, Bill Belichick with a great quarterback. But for me, Broncos is number 1. It was like when you had Tim Tebow, right? That's how you are with Drew Lock. And they all like this young quarterback. Oh, he could be the future. Forget the future. Your roster is good enough to win now. Go ahead and get you a great all-time quarterback in Aaron Rodgers that can make plays, that's going to make everybody around him better. You already have the defense. You have the running backs. You have the wide receivers. So that's one team that will automatically, to me, be a contender. I don't care that the Kansas City Chiefs is in the same division because we saw this year with the Saints and the Buccaneers. You can be the wild card team and still make it. Next, I have the Colts. The Colts are a quarterback away. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback, in my opinion, that's available to get because you're not going to get Deshaun Watson. He's in the same division. Make that call. Next, last, I do have the 49ers. The 49ers have yet again a good pick. The 49ers have, defensive players coming back from injuries. Now, they do got some question marks on the back end, but that team is too good and that coach is too good for them not to get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers needs to go because when you and your head coach aren't on the same page, that's just bad news. That's just bad news. Before we get into anything else, man, everybody that's watching, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. What I want you to do is like the video, comment on the video, like the page, share the page. Here on ASAP, what we do is have a thing called Viewer of the Month. At the end of the month, we're going to tally everything that you do. At the end, whoever does it the most is going to be crowned that Viewer of the Month, and they're going to get their very own T-shirt. Also, if you know an analyst on this network personally, you can message them or you can message us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Shirts are $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Again, $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Message us. You can get an ASAP shirt ASAP. Now, Freddie, we talked about the future for Aaron Rodgers. But let's talk about right now. I'll go first. How did this loss affect his legacy? It's bad. 1-4 in championship games. I've been saying how great Aaron Rodgers is, but the fact that he has the same amount of Super Bowl appearances and victories as Nick Foles isn't it? And it's not like he hasn't had the opportunities to get there. I mean, we can talk about all the extra things we want, but at the end of the day, he didn't score enough points. His team was in the red zone. They didn't score. He's the quarterback. At the end of the day, they let Seattle come back from double digits in the fourth quarter. I mean, so many games he lost that he should have won. Aaron Rodgers, to me, I think now, I don't know if you can put him on the top 4 quarterbacks of all time because of how many he's not even getting to the Super Bowl. He's losing the NFC Championship. He had the same amount of NFC Championship wins as Tom Brady, and this is his first year. I feel like this hurt his legacy bad. Now, he still can, if he doesn't retire, he keeps playing, he moves on, he can still add to that legacy. But right now, I think this took him a step back. Talent-wise, we know he's there. Just like Dan Marino, we know he's there. But, I mean, you talking about legacy, we're talking about everything. Tom Brady has the legacy. Joe Montana, the legacy. Elway has the legacy. And right now, his legacy is looking a little scarce right now. All this talent, but it's not winning, and it's bad. How you feel about that, Green Bay Giants fan?
Chris, it hurts me what I'm about to say. Because, the dude's talent is unreal. But I believe this was the year that Aaron Rodgers had to make that push. After you seen what he did to have this MVP season, I thought this was the year that he had to at least make the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
At least make the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then if he would have won it, then it would have just took him over. But if he don't win another Super Bowl, he going to be just like Drew Brees.
Yeah. Great comparison.
Great career. Great talent, was only able to win one.
Only get to one, not even just not even win one, but you only were able to get to one.
I mean,
that's bad. That's bad. And like I said, I love Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I came over and said I would take Aaron Rodgers over a lot of these guys, but at the end of the day, now this is your time to go against Tom Brady in a meaningful moment. And I mean, when I look at this game, 3 interceptions and you only scored 6 points. You went in the red zone all that time, and it's this picture that I post on the ASAP page. He could have ran for at least 3 to 4 yards. No, he might not have scored, but that 3 or 4 yards would have helped. Then they didn't run the ball at least once. This team was the best red zone offense in the NFL. Yet they don't score that good in the red zone. When it's time to score, players running the wrong assignments. Davante Adams dropping wide open touchdowns. Players not catching wide open 2-point conversions. I mean, everything went wrong for this team. The offense could have played better. And when I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers' legacy, it's Drew Brees right now. And as much as I was knocking Drew Brees, I mean, right now it's the same thing. Aaron Rodgers.
Can I mention on that? I messed up on one of the questions. I wanted to speak on that. We asked did the call lose them the game? No. If you look at it, Davante Adams, dropping touchdowns, not catching touchdowns. The 2-point conversion drop right in his hands, in the dude's hands. King letting up for a touchdown in the corner, like 6 seconds left of the game. And the defensive coordinator, he needs to be fired too for not making adjustments because King was getting killed on killed by Mike Evans. I mean, he was just getting killed. Like they
how do you give up that touchdown right there? No time. I mean, no timeouts. Even one timeout. I mean, who cares? They kick a 50-yard field goal. You don't give up the touchdown. You don't give up the touchdown. That's terrible. Bill Belichick. We saw these things, but one thing was great at was situational football because he understands in the playoffs that's what win games. Situational football, the Packers did not get it done. And I add one more thing on why they lost the game. Here's some NFL breakdown for your guy Christopher Brown on the ASAP Network. The play where Devin White, I think it was Devin White, smacked down that pass, that quick 5-and-out for Davante Adams. It was because Lazard didn't set that little pick on him. It was like a pick play. That you can't run it, but you can run it. He's supposed to block him off. If you watch, Davante Adams is wide open. Davante Adams either going to get down at the 1 or he's going to score. But because Lazard ran the wrong assignment, again, I will post all these videos analysis on the ASAP page so you can see how bad this misassignment was and how it affected the Green Bay Packers from scoring in the red zone inside the 10. Blown assignments, situational football. Aaron Rodgers need to look at his team and say, man, Davante Adams, I love you. You're my guy. You're my guy. But no, he had a good game. He had a good game. Davante Adams. It's not Davante Adams' fault why they lost.
I'm just saying that touchdown, man. It would have
helped. It would have helped.
Just made a mistake too. I don't know if you've seen this, but beginning of the third quarter, just the quarterback job to put these receivers, the running backs in the right position. He threw a pass to Aaron Jones that White was running right at him, popped him, and it fumbled.
You can't fumble that though. Running backs not even listen. You can't fumble that. That's not on Aaron Rodgers' fault. You can't. You turned around, you started running. You can't fumble that. And you watch it. Aaron Jones never had complete control of the ball. That's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. The ball's right there for you to have control. Now I'm not slandering Aaron Jones, but I'm saying that's not Rodgers' fault.
But there's too many turnovers on Green Bay, and even though Brady threw the 3 interceptions, Green Bay did not capitalize on it. So, guess what? We can't say because you had a penalty. That Green Bay had too many chances.
They had too many chances.
And then let's speak on Matt LaFleur. This guy
needs to be fired. Hot take. We had no hot takes. He needs to be fired.
I agree.
First of all, this is not a regular game. This is not no week 7 game. This is the NFC Championship. It's win or go home. If you don't convert, fine. You have them pinned all the way back near their end zone. It's not like they're at the 50. No, you're in the red zone. You go for it right there. With Aaron Rodgers, I don't care that you haven't had success in the red zone. I don't care if you haven't had success. You go for that. If you don't convert or you got them pinned all the way back, tell your defense to step up. But the fact that you kick a field goal, everybody knew it was over right there. Everybody knew it was over right there. And for me, I think Aaron Rodgers got to be gone after that because there's no way where Aaron Rodgers, you sit there and kick a field goal. No coach is doing that. No coach that made it that far is doing that. The Bills coach showed you against what we're going to talk about later. They went for it on 4th down. Andy Reid is going to go for it on 4th down. Bruce Arians, he did it to you. At the end of the first half, he went for it on 4th down. So the fact that you don't go for it on fourth down shows me that you're not a Super Bowl coach, Matt LaFleur. Shows me that you're not the guy that needs to be there.
He's a lame duck coach. That's what he is. I mean, people say, "Oh, look at his record. The 2 years there." Guess what?
No postseason success.
Guess what? Do you think if you have Jordan, you have Kobe and LeBron on your team that you got to do so much? You do have Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. What do you think his record going to be? Y'all stop it. Like, yeah. I mean,
coaches make their money in the playoffs, not the regular season. Coaches earn their respect and make their money all in the playoffs. We talk about all these coaches that have all these all-time wins, but I promise you they have success in the playoffs. Matt LaFleur, all these regular season wins is fine, but when it's time to you out-coach somebody, you don't do it. You got out-coached. You got out-schemed. That just shows to the lack of preparation and lack of he was better than Doug Peterson. I'll say that. So I'm not going to say he's the worst coach in the NFL, but out of the 4 coaches left, for me, I had him last.
I can say that.
Showed why he's last.
Chris, Doug Peterson had really one bad year, but this is the second year that he had Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. This team was rolling. So Doug Peterson did win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But I say this though. Okay. This is what I say. I say this. I won't slander Doug, but I'll say this. Doug would have went for it on fourth down right there. That's a fact. Doug would have went for it on fourth down right there.
So, we're going to see what Green Bay going to do, what they're going to do with that situation, but it might be
Colts, Broncos, 49ers, Dolphins. Y'all need to be calling. Y'all need to be calling to get this man because to me, it's obvious that there's no way he's finishing his career there. And I wouldn't finish my career there because the head coach, he's not on the same level as you, man. Go play with Belichick. I'm just stuck on this, and this is going to be the talk. And it's not the flag. It's the fact that you don't go for it on fourth down. And I know you got the Devontae Adams drop. You got the Lazard with the miscommunications. And then the coach doesn't run the ball at all. That blows my mind. No runs. You get 1 or 2 yards. That helps you out a little bit. No runs. That blows my mind. And then the fact that you don't go for it on fourth. To me, the coach has to get questioned. But here's the last, question about this game. And I'll go first. Who had the best performance? For me, it's Shaquille Barrett. 3 sacks. 4 QB hits. The reason why this game was, the Buccaneers were in control most of the games because of the defense. It honestly was because of that defense. They got the Aaron Rodgers. They made it tough for him. They hit him. They were tackling running backs in the backfield. It was physical. For me, the MVP is the defensive line. If I had to pick one, I got to go Shaquille Barrett. 3 sacks in the NFC Championship. That's major. That's major right there. He's definitely, for me, the MVP. Who you got?
I'm not going the same person. I'm going to go to the player that Mr. King got all about. I'm going Mr. Miller. We all know Tom Brady liked them little slot receivers.
You can't be successful without a slot or a tight end.
He loves them. That's what he made his grind in New England with. So, this dude, it's funny. I was sitting back there watching, saying, okay, they about to punt the ball. Okay, here come Brady and the offense back on the field. That's why it's really bad that this defensive coordinator did not send King some help.
And he called timeout too. That's the thing.
Yeah, but this dude Miller, man, I don't know what King was like. Man, this dude really fast, or is he like, man, I didn't see that, or what? But that dude, that arguably, stuff like that can win you the game, especially with stuff like that. That's not supposed to happen. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to this Bills and Chiefs game. What a game it was. The Bills unfortunately took an L 38-24. In your opinion, what does the Bills have to work on and improve going forward for next year?
Running. They need a running game. That's what this team is missing. A running game. You have Josh Allen, which get better each year in, year out. They're going to the Super Bowl one year. It's coming soon. This young talent is on the come up. The defense is there. The wide receivers there. The quarterback there. They need a running game. They started off 9-0. They was doing good. But guess what? If you don't have a running game, you're not going to beat the elite teams in football. You're not going to beat the Chiefs. You're not going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without a running game. So, to me, they need to get a running game established in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. For me, it's a couple of things. Definitely, I think the running game has to go in there. Anytime Josh Allen has the most carries, the most yards, that shows you that something needs to be fixed. Because, yes, he can run the ball but his arm is too talented for him to be putting his body on the line like that so much. For me, I think the running game has to be addressed. I also think the pass rush has to be addressed. You got some guys, but the inconsistency is different. I mean, when you look at Philadelphia in their prime, they had a lot of studs. And when you got a lot of studs, I mean, you could throw different guys from the edges to the interior guys. You cannot go against the Kansas City Chiefs and only sack Patrick Mahomes one time. You cannot be successful if you only have one sack in the playoffs. I mean, I'll just be honest. You look at what happened with the Packers and the Buccaneers. They only had one sack on Tom Brady. If you're in the playoffs, you got to get after the opposing team's quarterback. And this year, the sacks was, iffy. So I think they need to work on that. Lastly, I think they need to work on some more weapons. Stephon Diggs is the true number one. Cole Beasley, yes. Shout out to Cole Beasley. Ace, I see you. One of the best slots in the game. You got 2 wide receivers. But like I said, you got a slot. You got a number one. I think you need to get a tight end in there, especially for a young quarterback. And another weapon. I like John Brown, but he's been inconsistent. You look over at Kansas City, they just got a lot of guys, a lot of speedsters that they can plug and play. For me, when I look at, the next step for the Bills, it's pass rush, it's running game, and it's definitely you're tripping, Nate. You're tripping. Pass rush, running game, and weapons. But I think they're right there, man. They're right there. I mean, they only getting better. We saw that, in my opinion, the best top 3, 1 and 2 duos is Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. They're definitely top 3. In their first year together, they were magic. But let me ask you something. How would you grade Josh Allen's performance? AFC Championship game going against this very, very underrated Kansas City Chiefs game defense. How would you grade his performance?
I'm gonna give him a B+. Him not having, the defense and him making plays. I mean, he's really the engine of this team. With him and Diggs. That Kansas City Chiefs defense came alive the last couple of weeks. And that's a scary thing. But I'm gonna give him a B+. Because like you said, I would. Let's be honest. He's what we want Lamar Jackson to be.
Whoa. No.
Football. You don't think?
No, heck no. First of all, he been had a better arm than Lamar. First of all, he been had a better arm than Lamar. Lamar is by far a better runner. He runs a lot, but if he had a running game, he's not running as much. He's running out of necessity. He's really a better pocket passer. This is not what I wanted Lamar to be. Lamar is a whole – no, I can't make that comparison. I will say he's the best quarterback in the class right now, but to come out and say this is what we expected Lamar to be, we didn't expect Lamar to be a quarterback that sits in a pocket and throws. That's what Josh Allen is. They're 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different playing styles. Way 2 different playing styles. I'll say right now, this year, he had a better year than Lamar. I'll say that for sure. If you ask me who's the best quarterback in the class, I'm definitely going with Josh Allen, but I never expected Lamar Jackson to be throwing for 4,700 yards and all these touchdowns. I mean, I knew that's not the offense, and I know that's not his game coming out. Josh Allen, his strengths coming out was a strong arm. So you knew he was going to be a good thrower.
I mean,
2 different QBs, man. But I'll say this. I grade him a B, B-, and here's why. I think he kind of showed a little bit his inexperience and also his inaccuracy. He threw 1 interception, but it could have been 3 if the Chiefs capitalized and caught those. So he had a good game, not the best game, but he did, all he could do. Cole Beasley was playing hurt the entire game. They know you only have one weapon in Stephon Diggs. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of weapons over there. So he did as best as he could. He could have done better, but he could have did worse, and he didn't. So I think he gets about a B. I say B. I think he performed well. I think he's showing that he's one of the QBs for the future. But the fact that the buddies that we don't like, ESPN posted that thing and gave Bill the edge for quarterback. What? Mm-hmm. Turf toe? Don't matter. Patrick Mahomes more accurate, better quarterback. Head injury don't matter. He can stand in the pocket, won't be touched. So the fact that they made that, and I like that he reposted that on Twitter, they disrespected him for that. Mm-hmm. They definitely disrespected him for that. But speaking of Patrick Mahomes, how did he look with those 2 significant injuries? I say this. With the turf toe, he still played well. Why? Because he's not a guy that has to run for his team to be successful. Why? Because he can sit in the pocket and dot you up. And that's what he did. I mean, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, 95 QBR. I mean, Tyreek Hill, 172 yards, who also dropped a 42-yard bomb. So Tyreek Hill could have went for over 200 yards this game. Travis Kelce gave you 13 for 118. He has the number one. He has the tight end, and they made it work. For me, he gets an A. He definitely gets an A. Patrick Mahomes, Okay, he wasn't 100%, but he was still head and shoulders above Josh Allen.
Yeah, he's definitely. Hey, this dude came out there and said, "You know what? I'm still gonna put 325 on you."
Easy.
And this is why this dude is great. This dude, what I mean, hurt. He shows up. He comes in and put the work. What I mean, hey, and you know what? Let's give credit to his weapons. His weapons make it easy for him. Okay. I mean, did you see Tyreek Hill after the pass?
Mm.
I mean, hey, man, this Super Bowl, man. Let's just say this Super Bowl is gonna be exciting. It's gonna be, man. ASAP Network's gonna cover it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have a show maybe the day before. Man, it's gonna be exciting. Man, I'm just ready for it, man. Mahomes versus Brady, man. It's gonna be nice because Mahomes, he get an A+ from me, man. Just coming back after injury, or then a week after having a concussion, and still put on the performance that he did on yesterday. It's just amazing.
Brandon Ferrer, I see your comments right now. This is a good question. I can't think. In my head, it's even because you got some good teams with bad quarterbacks and some bad teams with good quarterbacks. I will answer that in the chat and I'll post it on the page. I got to sit back and look because, like I said, you got teams like the Colts, 11-5 record, but not with a good quarterback. You got teams with the Steelers, 12-4 quarterback, 12-4 team, not with a good quarterback. But then you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, 4-11-1. Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. Same thing with the Texans, 4-12. Deshaun Watson's a very, very good quarterback. So that's definitely a good question. Comment what you think, Brandon Herrera, so we can talk about that. But we talked about Josh Allen. We talked about Patrick Mahomes. Let's stick with the Kansas City team. Are they the best offense ever? What do you think?
I'm going to say yes for one reason. That Andy Reid, one of the best offensive-minded coach in the game. Then you have Mahomes, who we always say Rodgers is the best talent, all that. But
he took over. It went from Elway to Rodgers to Mahomes. New level.
And Mahomes is like on another level. Like this dude does stuff that, you just know that he can only make that play. Then you have Tyreek Hill, who like he gets the ball. The dude is so fast you can't stop the dude. Then you have Travis Kelce, man, the best tight end in the game. Like this dude, like it's not even close. This dude is the best tight end in the game. This dude was beast today. Then you have the two backs. I mean, yes, I'm gonna say yes, just because of the coach and the weapons they have, and just what they did the last couple of years. So, yeah.
Right now, I can't give it to him. I mean, I look at the greatest show on turf. You have the coach, a very good quarterback. You have the dominant running back, and you have more consistent weapons. You look at the Colts back when they had Peyton Manning. You have two very good wide receivers. You have the tight end and the running back. Do they have the potential to be? Yes. But I need to see maybe 1 or 2 more years. And they put up good stats. But I want to see if somebody else can spring on. Can another wide receiver be consistent? But, I mean, if you're talking about weapons, I mean, Tyreek Hill is a weapon. Travis Kelce is a weapon. But if you're looking at player, I mean, they put it up. Why? And I got to give credit to my guy, Big Red, Andy Reid. I mean, listen, Philadelphia always going to love you because we know it's not your fault we didn't win. Donovan McNabb going out before the Super Bowl, but that's neither here nor there. But, Big Red, I mean, what he does with quarterbacks, diamond in the rough, what he's doing, Patrick Mahomes, he always had the talent, but now he's giving them the smarts. And you add talent and smarts together, you got a great quarterback. And that's what we're seeing right now with Patrick Mahomes. He's a game changer. So for me, they have the potential to be, but right now, I can't give it to them just yet. Now, if they go out and dominate the Buccaneers defense, I think they get it. I definitely think they get it.
The Colts was the best offensive team.
I'm still going greatest show on turf. I'm still going Rams.
It was not really with who?
I'm still going to Rams.
Okay, because you mentioned
greatest show on turf.
Okay, you mentioned Colts. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mentioned the Colts when they had Reggie Wayne, when they had Dallas Clark, when they had Marvin Harrison, when they had boys over there.
Okay, I got you.
But let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk about this Super Bowl. I brought it up. 2 words, and then describe what those 2 words mean to describe the Super Bowl. What's your 2 words?
Oh man, goat. Goat. That's all I can say. We have 2 goats about to go out there and play. Man, this is going to be amazing. Like I was looking forward to see Mahomes versus Rodgers, but I'm just ready to see Brady versus Rodgers. You're talking about a quarterback in Tom Brady who's been consistent. I mean, 10 years. This is going to be his 10th year at the Super Bowl. Well, this is crazy. Then he goes to the NFC and does it. But then you talk about Mahomes, like a few years ago, Brady ran into the locker room just to go, Brady knew this dude was going to be good. Went to the locker room to go talk to this to Patrick Mahomes. You know what? If the defense, I don't think Tampa Bay defense can stop Mahomes. Just because he's mobile, he can run. He can run a little bit better than Rodgers.
Yeah, he got turf toe right now, though, so that mobile is here.
But he do get a little extra week off to rest it and get that healed. And so if he's healthy and everything, man, this is gonna be fun. Tampa Bay got their wideouts too. Antonio Brown is able to come back and play.
They got all the weapons over there.
It's crazy. The running game, Rob Gronkowski, Evans, Godwin. Brown is Mike Evans, Miller. The list keep going on and on. And even at tight end, they just gonna get tight end.
They got Brady, Gronk. They got everything over there, man.
So it's gonna be whichever coach is not gonna be afraid to go for the moment. It's gonna be there's gonna be whatever defense step up the most as well, whichever is able to make stops that's gonna win that game. I think it's gonna be a more exciting game than it was the Packers game.
Ooh, the Packers game was exciting though. It was exciting. Brandon, first of all, I'll talk about this. To me, AFC more solid with younger. Okay, I can see that. And then torch passing is a good one. That's a good one. Mine's kind of similar. Mine's is legacy defining. Here's why. If Tom Brady wins, he's setting himself up to be. You got to do a lot to beat this guy because not only does he have the stats, but now he has 7 Super Bowls and 10 appearances. Beat that. Because he's setting the standard. Because Joe Montana, he had the rings, but he didn't have the stats. Tom Brady has both. So for me, if he wins this, is legacy defined. And then you go and you look at Patrick Mahomes. For one, when they went against each other in the AFC Championship, if D Ford doesn't line up all sides, the Chiefs win that game. Also, if the Chiefs get that ball first in overtime, the Chiefs win that game. Now young Patrick Mahomes has a chance to beat Tom Brady. Tom Brady goes to the Buccaneers. The only way they're going to be able to meet each other is in the Super Bowl. Now Patrick Mahomes has another chance to beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. It always said if Aaron Rodgers is able to beat Tom Brady in a meaningful game, an NFC Championship this year or a Super Bowl, that will put him, give him a leg up to say he's the GOAT. For me, if Patrick Mahomes is able to beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl, it's going to give him a better chance because he beat him. If he wins more, keeps putting up the stats to really say he's the GOAT. So for me, I think this is a legacy-defining game. Tom Brady's legacy is stamped, but it can only get better and harder to reach. And I think he can definitely do that.
And then also Patrick Mahomes can go ahead and get over with, what Aaron Rodgers now going through, what Drew Brees has been going through. Go ahead and get that second Super Bowl. And also, I believe, Mahomes, if any other quarterback can catch as many Super Bowls as Brady, it's going to be Mahomes.
Mahomes, when I don't understand why people got mad when they say dynasty in the making, because when you got your guy, key guys locked up for years, when you got up there, yes, Brandon, he's up there. When you got your guys locked up, for multiple years, they're young. You're head and shoulders above everybody else. I'm not mad when they said they were a dynasty, and they came out and proved it. So they can say as long as they want to, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
But we like to do rank them on Real Talk. So here's rank them 1 through 3. Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, Cam Newton. Freddie, let me hear what you got.
Michael Vick, number 1.
Cunningham,
number 2. And Cam Newton, number 3.
I'm
sorry, Cam, but hey.
I feel you. I got Randall 1, Eagle legend. Michael Vick 2, and I got Cam Newton 3. And I think for me it's kind of close because Cam Newton did something Michael Vick didn't do. Took his team to the Super Bowl. It's close. It's close. But for me, in their primes, I'm definitely taking Randall and I'm taking Mike Vick over Cam Newton prime. Even though I feel like it was short-lived because, when guys try to play through certain injuries, it doesn't work out. Like we saw what happened with Grant Hill. We saw what happened with so many guys in the NFL right now. We're seeing what happened with Cam Newton. I wish he'd have sat back and rehab more instead of trying to play through it, especially at that quarterback position. And we see right now that his career is not the same. But let's move on. Let's talk about the NBA. NBA hot take. Freddie, what you got?
All right. I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets, okay? Kyrie Irving, can you not take more shots than James Harden? I mean, can you let Jack? I want to see the James Harden that he was with Houston. I mean, yes, I know he's giving the triple doubles. He's being more the point guard. Kyrie Irving's being more the
scorer as he should be.
Right, but still, when you have a dude that have averaged plus 30 the last 3 to 4 years, and James Harden, you definitely need to let that dude, do what he got to do. Because, man, honestly, I know I've said this in the group chat. It sounds crazy, but, man, they need to find a trade to get some people in there. Because I don't want Kevin Durant playing 45, 50 minutes a night. This dude just came back from an Achilles injury, okay? So if I was the Brooklyn Nets and 10, 15 games down the road and the chemistry not there, I'm trading Kyrie Irving to bring depth around this team. This is what they're lacking. They're lacking depth. They need a big man. What they're trying to get JaVale McGee and possibly Kevin Love.
They can't get Kevin Love. They don't got no money for it. So
exactly. That's why I'm like, how are you going to get Kevin Love? And either you're going to trade Kyrie, but I don't see you trading Kyrie for Kevin Love. They do that there. That's the dumbest trade ever. But this team they need defense, and they need somebody that where they can give Kevin Durant some rest, man. Because I don't know if 50. Do you think 50 minutes from him coming back? I mean, I know it was 18 months.
It was a double overtime, though. Let's put this into perspective. It was a double overtime, and yes, he had a lot of time off. That's why he sat after. He only played because it was a double overtime. And you look at it tonight. I'll talk about it tonight. Tonight, James Harden helped take over. Tonight, James Harden played better out of all three of those guys. Kevin Durant is 6 for 21, 3 for 12 from the three-point line. Kyrie Irving, 6 for 17, 1 for 4 from the three-point line. James Harden was 7 for 10. He got 20 points right now in a very, very defensive, bad offensive game. And I took the over on this, so I'm pissed off. And I also took the over at Kevin Durant. I had him scoring 28 plus. He's been averaging 30, but this game he wants to play like this. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, watch who you bet on. But at the end of the day, James Harden showed why it was valuable picking him up. When your two guys drop off and have terrible performances, James Harden's able to step up. And for me, I don't think you need to trade Kyrie Irving. You stay with those three guys. Now that I think you had to go out there and get James Harden, I don't think you needed to. I did think it got them better. Yes, they need to add a big man. You can add McGee. But for me, these are the guys I'm calling. Calling Isaiah Thomas because you need a backup guard off the bench that can create not only his own shot, but shot for others. I'm calling Trevor Ariza. I'm calling guys that I know are capable of doing it in the playoffs, the guys that are capable and have done it before. You don't have to go and make a whole bunch of trades and trade away your future. There's quality guys right now not signed to a team. Do the smart thing. Do what the Heat did last year in acquiring Iguodala, calling Jay Crowder. You don't need to trade away a lot of guys, but you can make the right move, the necessary moves that people might say, oh, how's it going to help in the regular season, but it's going to help in the playoffs. The Nets came back. The Nets were down like 20 in this game, and they came back to win by 13. This is still a very, very good team with 3 of the top 8 players in the East right now. It's going to be hard to beat them 4 games in a row. It's going to be hard to beat them. But here's my hot take, NBA hot take. We always talk about the Clippers need a point guard. Even though for me, we're going to talk about the top 5 teams in there. Cats out the bag, the Clippers are on that list. But we all talk about, this team needs a point guard. This team needs a point guard. What's the team right now underperforming? In the Toronto Raptors. What do they have? A point guard. Not only did Kawhi win a championship with him, but Serge Ibaka was on that championship team. I'm calling up Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is just as good of a defender as Patrick Beverley. Kyle Lowry is a better offensive player than Patrick Beverley. Not only is he a better scorer, but he's that floor general playmaker that you need. I'm calling up the Clippers, and I'm getting Kyle Lowry, a guy that has championship experience, a guy that won a championship with 2 of my top 5 most important players on the team, and I'm making that happen. Because I say this, they get Kyle Lowry, that's a different team. That's your floor general. That's your playmaker. That's a guy you can count on to get his own shot in the clutch. That's a guy that knocked down clutch shots in the NBA Finals. My hot take is that Kyle Lowry will be in the Los Angeles Clipper uniform very, very soon.
And he's a dog. Like, he bring the dog mindset.
Dog mentality that can back it up consistently. But let's talk about Freddie. Wednesday, you got your Lakers, going against my Sixers. I'll let you go first, and I just save everything you say.
Man, this game is going to be what I'm going to be looking forward to is the matchup of LeBron and Ben Simmons. A lot of people compare Ben Simmons to LeBron. They say the big body, point guard, he can push it out, the court, and you can't stop him on the inside at all. I'm going to be looking out for that to see, how that matchup is going to go. I'm going to be looking at the Marc Gasol and Joel Embiid matchup. Yes, Marc Gasol got a little bit older. He's not.
But he always got in Joel Embiid number.
Exactly. So I'm going to be looking to see if Marc Gasol can do that again. But I'm still going with the Lakers, man. The Lakers is just, KCP shooting like 53% from three, which is like crazy.
It's very, very good. I'm proud of him because I loved him when he was in Detroit, and I like what he's doing right now. Speaking of KCP, I said over. Okay, never mind. I said over 9.5. He got 10. Let's go, KCP. He's shooting 1 for 7 right now from 3-point line. Still room for you.
Hey, then Anthony Davis, I believe. I don't know who they're gonna put on him. I don't think Tobias Harris can guard AD.
Putting Joel on him.
So you're not gonna put him on? Well,
why would you put him on Marc Gasol?
Okay,
in the playoffs, we put a small forward on Marc Gasol. All you do is stand in the corner, and you put Joel Embiid on Pascal. I'm gonna wait till you're done to touch on it.
I still think AD he'll give us about 20, 22 a night. And then I'm looking forward to see Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, he's gonna come alive, and then it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a close. I'll say Lakers by 3 or 5 points. It's gonna be close. It's not gonna be It's gonna go to the fourth quarter. Just see who's gonna be able to make the plays, and I believe down the stretch, LeBron will be able to make the plays to lead the Lakers to victory.
Yeah, man, I definitely think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm not mad at you for picking your team, and of course, I'm going to go with my team. I mean, I'll say this: whenever Ben Simmons go against LeBron, it's the best Ben Simmons we ever see. Last couple of times they played, the last time they played, Ben Simmons put up 28, 10, and 8 with 4 steals. Ben Simmons put up 20-point games going against LeBron. When he goes against LeBron, the best Ben Simmons comes out. Same thing, with Joel Embiid. The past couple of times he went against Anthony Davis. I mean, the last time he put up 31 and 19. So when these two guys got dogs in front of them, they bring their best. And whenever the Sixers go against a very good team, they bring their best. I think it's going to be close. I think they match up well, and I don't think Marc Gasol is going to be playing at the end of the game. I think we're going to see that that Embiid and AD matchup. I think we're going to see this LeBron and Ben Simmons matchup. I'm curious to see how Seth Curry and KCP going to perform because Seth Curry is the shooter in this starting lineup. KCP is the best shooter in this starting lineup, the two-way guy. I want to see how Danny Green is going to do on Dennis Schroeder. I want to be surprised if Ben spends some time on him and Matisse Thybulle, play some more minutes because Danny Green and quick guards don't add up. And I'm curious to see this bench because you got 2, bench units that are playing right now, 4 or 5 units that, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but they're some of the best bench units in the NBA. So I think it's going to be a very, very good game. I am picking my Sixers. No, me and Freddie aren't going to bet because the last time I tried to bet Freddie, he ducked me. So he missed out on his chance to ask me to bet. But, however, Thursday, we will be having a breakdown, and I think it's going to be a close game. Win, lose, or draw, I think it's going to be a game of the year type of game.
Hey, my finals preview, by the way.
Better man than me. More faith in my team than I have.
Remember that.
Yeah, but let's end it off with a rank 'em. Actually, before that, let's do our top 5 teams in the NBA so far. Let me start it off. Number one. I'll go 5 through 1. Number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. Right now, I still think, regular season they're doing their thing. They got hit. Lost to the Nets, lost some games, lost to the Lakers, but I still think they're balling out, and they're more consistent right now than the Nets are because not only can they score like the Nets, but they have better defense. The Nets, they're in my top 10, but right now I can't confidently put them in my top 5. They're probably 6 or 7. Number 4, I got my 76ers, still the best, record in the East, but it shows that whenever Joel Embiid doesn't play, we lose. That's what happened tonight. The Pistons, the worst team in the NBA, punched us in the mouth because our best player didn't play. But when our starting five all plays together, we're 9-0. I still think that's great basketball when your starting five is 9-0 together. You know, I think healthy, we have one of the best starting fives in the NBA. They just got to prove it. They went from 3 to 4 on my list because at number 3 now I have the Utah Jazz. On like a 7, 8, 9 game winning streak, balling out, top 6 defense, shooting 40% from the 3-point line. Donovan Mitchell's performing crazy. Jordan Clarkson probably the front runner for 6th man of the year. Bogdanovich, he was averaging 20 last year. You got to remember he's coming off an injury mid-season. This dude's going to be ramping it up to 16 plus. Rudy Gobert, even though he's graciously overpaid, he does his job well. And Mike Conley's having a bounce back year because last year was lackluster. You know, so they're number 3. Number 2, I have the Clippers. To me, this is a better Clippers team than last year. They now have a full bench unit, not just 2 players. Because last year was just Lou Will, Montrez, and they really played with the starters. They didn't have a real bench. This year, to me, they have a full bench unit. I think they're coming out with more sense of urgency. Paul George is honestly healthy beginning of the year. He's shown why in the regular season he's one of the best players. Kawhi is Mr. Consistent. He's playing back-to-backs. So for me, at number 2 and number 1, I got the Lakers. It's not close. No need to explain. 9-0 on the road. That tells you something right there. Even though they're playing Cleveland right now down 4, I expect them to come back. I mean, my Sixers, we have one of the worst road records in the NBA. Our home record, you take away that one loss to Denver because we only could play 7 players because of COVID, we're really undefeated. But the fact that the Lakers are 9-0 on the road, the fact that the Lakers can play so dominantly, they can win on defense or offense consistently, they're easily the best team in the NBA. Not close.
No need for me to go because I had the same top 5 as you as well. That's, so.
It's the only top 5 it is.
I mean, if you look at it, man, just look at, I think people sleeping on Utah this year, man.
Let me admit, hot take, I picked the Jazz not to make the playoffs, and I will say I regret it. I said that because I expected James Harden I didn't know he wanted to be going that bad. He didn't even give his team a try. I didn't expect that. So take the Rockets out, add the Jazz, probably be going to finish in the top 5. I slept on them. I did. And not even that I slept on them. I thought they were going to be right there at like that play-in tournament. And I forgot regular season, they don't,
And Chris, I know it's early, but man, the Suns are in the 7th spot right now.
I had Suns in the top 5. I had Suns and they playing right now without Devin Booker, which is tough, which is very, very tough. But for me, the difference between the Suns this year and the Suns in my top 10 this year from last year is last year if their offense wasn't going, and years prior, their offense wasn't going, they're not winning. This year, defense is winning them games. Even with everybody having a slow start, because you got new floor generals, so everything is different. You got a different system. Devin Booker is not having a fast start. Ayton's not having a fast start. Chris Paul is not having a fast start. Their defense is able to win games. So for me, the Suns are on the list. And another team I throw out,
Dallas is 8-8.
Nah, Dallas they should be better than that. Same thing with the Nuggets. Pacers to me are in the top 10. And if they had Karis LeVert, they would have beat they'd have won their last 2. They'd be, their last 3 games, they'd be 3-0. Praying for Karis LeVert to get healthy. I feel like if they had them, they'll be a better team. But the Pacers are on my list, and that's the last one I want to throw out.
Oh man, I know we got to go, but
Celtics top 10 too.
Yeah, the Pelicans are underachieving in my opinion.
No, they're not. I said this is what I said about the Pelicans. We could talk about that for a little bit. We got a couple minutes. I said I like Van Gundy as a coach. But something is wrong with. I said this since day one. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to underperform everybody because they don't have the roster. Eric, first of all, listen to the starting 5: Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball, Zion, Steven Adams. The only shooter is Brandon Ingram, but he's not a shooter. He's really a shot maker. He's not a guy that you counted on to hit 4 threes, shoot his great percentage. You got 4 guys that don't really operate well on the 3-point line. Lonzo and Eric Bledsoe is a terrible backcourt. Zion does not need to be playing with a center that just stands in the paint clueless. I love you, Steven Adams, but you have no offensive mind whatsoever. It's like, and then they have no bench. So this team, they get leads. They had a lead on your Lakers. It was a good game. They had a lead on the Hornets. They get leads. They're in games. But towards the end, you see that they have no bench. You see shooting hurts them. You see that their offense can get stagnant, and they have a lot of turnovers. So it's like Van Gundy coaching is questionable, but they don't have the roster either. And I say this, he puts them in good positions for them to succeed. The roster messes up a lot. Ace, I know your Pistons beat my Sixers. Why? Because the best center of the NBA, the MVP frontrunner, did not play. But he cannot continue to be MVP frontrunner if he doesn't play. Yeah. Let's wrap it up with a rank them. Freddie, I'm coming to you. Hot one. Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Pau Gasol.
I'm going Chris Bosh number 1. And it's hard. I've been thinking about it, man. Him or Pau Gasol is hard. But what he was able to do, even before Miami, when he was doing in Toronto, that dude was a monster. And then he was able, like, he took a back seat to make that Miami team work, man, because that dude was killing it, man. The number 2, I'm going not Kevin Love, Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol was so good. Like, the Lakers was struggling for years, and then finally, Kobe threatened the Lakers to leave, and then they got Pau Gasol. And man, that dude was huge for the Lakers winning those 2 championships. The dude was, big on the inside, mid-range. The dude could do it all. The dude was a great defensive player, and which the Lakers need to retire his jersey, by the way. They retire every other great big man they had. They need to retire his jersey as well. And then Kevin Love. With Kevin Love, he was a monster in Minnesota as well. He's another guy that went to Cleveland and took his game step back because when you have Kyrie and Kevin and LeBron James, it tends to do that. But I'm pretty sure me and you have a similar list in the same order. It's only one right way.
There's multiple ways you can go with this. I'll say this: all guys in their own right had to take a back seat in order to win the championship. All guys, when they were, on their prior teams, were dominant. For me, I'm going Pau 1. I'm going Pau 1. I feel like Pau Gasol was, the better all-around complete player. I feel like, he had the rebounding, the defending, the scoring, and the mentality. I think he was there. 2, I am going Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was also there. Chris Bosh, a lot these guys didn't have real postseason success until they went to, their next team, their second teams. I think it's all close. I think Chris Bosh is second. And Kevin Love is third, but I feel like Kevin Love's prime years on the, the Timberwolves is better than Pau Gasol's prime years on the Grizzlies and better than Chris Bosh's prime years on the Raptors. Kevin Love was a walking 26 and 13, 14 type of guy. It's just Kevin Love defense isn't as good as those 2 guys. So for me, it's close. It's close 1, 2, 3. But I got Pau, Chris Bosh, and Kevin Love. I don't think Pau Gasol gets the respect. I don't think all 3 guys get the respect they deserve, but I don't think Pau Gasol really gets the respect he deserves. Kobe's not winning those last 2 without Pau.
I agree.
Andrew Bynum was all right. He was all right, but Pau Gasol was the real dominant big man on that team. Chris Bosh was very, very good. I'll say this. If I'm glad that he's healthy. If the blood clot incident doesn't happen with Chris Bosh, he's winning another championship or 2, whether he goes to Miami or he goes somewhere. He goes to Houston. Imagine him if Chris Bosh, to me, because you look at the game now, you got guys that can shoot. He was becoming a better 3-point shooter. He can rebound. He can play 4 or the 5. I think Chris Bosh is winning another championship or 2. I think he's adding more stats, more all-star appearances, and if that happens, he'd be number 1. But he still had a great career, even with the unfortunate incident then.
I agree.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is a nice show with you, Freddie. We brought some real talk. Wait a minute. One more thing I have to say. Thank you, everybody. Before I even talk about how fun I had, thank you, everybody, for the support here on ASAP. We really appreciate you guys for supporting us, supporting the movement, supporting what we've been doing, man. I don't think you guys understand how much it means to us here at the ASAP Network. And like I said, man, we're doing this thing called Viewer of the Month. Like the page, comment on the page, follow us on Instagram. If you look at the bio in us, it has all the links we're at, all our social medias, and all the major audio platforms we are on. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Thank you all for the support, man. Like I said, Viewer of the Month. Like the page, comment on the page, share the page. Like when we go live, we have shows every day. Share those pages. Hop on different shows. You got Real Talk. Later, you got Sports Corner, you got Jock Talk, you got Sports Minute, you got so many shows, and we thank you for the support that you gave us and keep supporting us. But like I said, Viewer of the Month, we're gonna tally it up at the end of the month. That person gets a free ASAP T-shirt. I got mine. I'm wearing it Thursday, so thank you all for the support again, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, it's a different look for Real Talk. Just me and you today. I mean, hey, I was wondering how it's going to go, but I knew it was going to bring the heat, and just one of those shows that me and you agreed on a lot more things than it normally happens. So
because it was the truth.
Yeah.
One thing about if it's the truth, I gotta speak on the truth. The truth is Aaron Rodgers not on Mount Rushmore no more.
Yeah.
The truth is Aaron Rodgers is not a top 5 QB of all time right now. How I'm feeling, I'm hating. The truth is Brandon Herrera. Thank you. You know what I mean. But thank you all, everybody, for supporting us. This is a wrap for ASAP Real Talk. Later on tonight, within an hour, you're going to see Monday Sports Corner. They're going to bring you the real. They're going to talk about the Super Bowl games. They're going to talk about baseball. They're going to talk about NHL. They're going to talk about Matthew Stafford and where he should go. They're going to bring you the heat. Make sure you tune into that. Me and Freddie signing out. Thank you all for the support, and we'll see you Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Peace out.
Sir.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.